Anderson Cooper, AC 360, CNN weeknights 10 Eastern.
Joining us by telephone tonight is pilot Chris Liu and Don Werno, his attorney. Good to have you both with us. Chris, let's start with you. What led you to post your video on YouTube? I know you have real concerns, obviously, over security, but posting it on the internet for everyone to see is a pretty bold move.
Well, I saw a potential problem, and I didn't script the video. I just wanted to address it. So I just posted it on YouTube, and not knowing TSA was watching. And also, Janet Napolitano did state, if you see something, say something.
But there are critics out there who say that you've exposed flaws that, while you thought it was important to expose, they do endanger airport security. The terrorists can now get ideas from your video. What's your response to that?
Well, I think they already know, personally. But, Don, do you want to interject?
I think it's disingenuous to suggest that we're showing anything that the public doesn't already know. We can all go into a terminal with a video camera and take that same footage, and if we're taxiing on an aircraft, for example, we can take more footage on the other side. So the real secret here is that nobody is looking at the ground crews and securing the airport.
Well, anyone can take the video, but you think it's okay that you've posted it online?
Well, we have to ask ourselves, aren't we having this discussion because we've discovered that TSA isn't looking at the ground crews? And if we really want to have a discussion about a comprehensive security system, don't we have to include all parts of the airport and not just the terminal? Because clearly that's not happening now.
And Chris, let me get back to you. What would you say is the most alarming part of the video that you wanted to show the public?
Well, I just wanted to show the disparity between what was going on upstairs with body scans and downstairs. I think there should be a balanced layer of security. And, you know, the ground crew, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have nothing but respect for the ground crew and everybody that works at the airport. But we're all a team, and our goal is to protect the American public.
Let me play a portion of your video, and we'll talk more right after it.
Well, folks, I just wanted to give you an idea of what type of security for the ground personnel there is. This is their screening. As you can see, there's only a card slide and one door.
Now, Chris, the San Francisco International Airport said that your video is false and misleading. Those are their words. They say the door that you showed in that video is actually a door to a lunchroom. How would you like to respond to that?
Well, the real thing is not the door. I've been to hundreds of airports, and I've seen basically the same thing. And, Don, would you like to comment?
Well, it's interesting. There's somebody who was filmed by Sacramento News 10 who's been on the airport for 45 years who said that absolutely what Chris had to say was true. We've also heard from hundreds of pilots, I won't say hundreds, a lot of pilots who have all confirmed that the same security problem exists. You know, I would say that San Francisco has a vested interest in spinning the story because they have a security problem, and it's a diversionary tactic. The issue is, and the reason that we're having this discussion, and it's an international story, is that pretty much everybody knows that we're not doing the job that we have to do, and we're not screening the ground crew. So we can make all the diversionary tactics we like. The problem is the problem, and it's not going to go away because we argue it's a lunchroom versus a different door.
And so, Don, where do you go from here? I mean, Chris is no longer a federal flight deck officer, and you've already written that letter to Janet Napolitano at Homeland Security about the security flaws. So what is the next step?
Well, what's interesting is Janet Napolitano was on a news show a couple of days ago, and she took the time to try to explain away a gaffe that happened on a show that Diane Sawyer had with the National Intelligence Director not knowing some significant intelligence issues. You know, she needs to be taking her time and addressing the issue that America and the world want to know, and that is, why aren't we looking at every single box, bag, and tool chest that comes onto the airport? The airport has to be a secure area, like a clean room, and everything that has to come into the clean room must be sanitized. We're not doing that, and really, TSA has spent billions of dollars to try to give us the impression that we are secure, and we're not. Just in October, there was a major drug bust on the airport in Puerto Rico where they were smuggling drugs on a commercial airliner. if you can smuggle drugs, you can smuggle bombs.
And Chris, I assume that is your concern, Chris, since you're zeroing in on the ground crew there and how they don't have to go through the same screening procedures, that you're concerned that a ground crew member or someone posing as one could get something on an airplane?
Yes, ma'am. And they don't have to go through the same screening as people upstairs, but there should be a balanced, effective, and efficient screening.
And I understand, too, that the TSA sent 4 air marshals, 2 deputy sheriffs to your home to confiscate your weapon before you even resigned. Do you think they were trying to send you a message in response to you posting the video?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that's for you to answer.
Interesting, we've learned that it was 2 federal air marshals and 2 members of an anti-terrorism task force, which is really surprising. Where are the terrorists in this picture? They're certainly not at Chris's house.
Yeah, and we have that video there of the scene in the driveway playing out that you also recorded on video. So, Chris Lu, Don Huerno, thank you certainly for bringing our attention to this matter, and I'm sure you will keep us posted on any updates. Thank you so much.